7:23. So the presidential candidates out in full force over the weekend, and huge heated debate last night. The Democratic debate, very, very heated, and at times Bernie Sanders was actually the Clinton camp is kind of using the feminine card here. Because they're coming out and saying, you know, I felt so you have the two aides that come out, right? The two campaign managers or whatever.
Sure.
Well, I kind of felt that Bernie was really really raised the heat, raised the level of intensity to the point where I felt that it was almost disrespectful. So that's almost as if, how could you speak that way to, you know, a woman? I kind of took it that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
If that's the road they're going down.
I think it's interesting, especially, well, in the GOP side, especially since they've taken on many other topics, but also for the Democrats, that no one is really taking on the topic of North Korea. It's almost as though no one wants to be blamed for instigating him over there.
Well, listen, anytime that you deal with a situation that your best chance of communicating with a leader is Dennis Rodman, I would say that is a very, very...
Very fragile.
Very fragile situation. And, you know, I mean, honestly, think about it. Dennis Rodman, the president could call up Dennis Rodman and say, hey, could you give Kim Jong Goof over there a call and see if you can kind of lessen these tensions a little bit, and oh, sure, I'll do that for you. And he'd call over there, and let's play a game of basketball.
I wonder what's happened, because Rodman hasn't been in the media anymore as the communicator between the U.S. and North Korea, right?
I just think that's, you know.
But and why?
When was the last time you heard about the shark bites? There was a shark bite just last week. We just chose not to cover it.
But I mean, President Obama talks about Beyonce. I mean, really, is it off the table when you're dealing with someone like Kim Jong-un in North Korea?
I think you're dealing with a crazy man. Did you see him on Apprentice?
So bring in Rodman.
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. No.
You're not sure that he'll help things?
No, I'm talking about Rodman.
As the crazy person.
Yeah. I'd love to see Kim Jong-un on The Apprentice. I think that would be an awesome episode. But
he would just kill everybody.
If you watched Dennis Rodman on The Apprentice, it would be a really bad move for anyone to seriously look at Rodman to be some sort of a negotiator. Half the time he's like bombed. I mean, I don't know if it's still the case, but he seemed really under the influence on The Apprentice. I mean, it was, I don't think you could do that.
I don't know. I don't know that it could hurt at this point.
You're probably right. I mean, this guy is really kind of he's crazy.
But he likes celebrity.
The story Christine has, I'm really interested in this morning. It's a story about the teacher. Where was this, by the way? She has her cell phone out on the desk.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was on the desk, but a student got it.
A student got a hold of her cell phone. And where was it? Do you know where the story is?
I'm going to look for it.
Well, the student gets a hold of her cell phone and gets inside and finds a nude photo.
South Carolina.
That she has taken of herself, which was meant for her husband. Why don't you read the story? So
this is students at a South Carolina school rallying to support a teacher who resigned after her nude photo was exposed. There's an online petition backing Lee Ann Arthur. It now has more than 16,000 signatures. A 16-year-old student reportedly went through her phone without her knowledge and circulated the image that was meant for Arthur's husband.
Wow. So my feeling on this is... shame on the 16-year-old. He should be, that'd be against the law, right?
Yeah.
So there's probably, at least in New York State, there's a law that would prevent that. You're sending nude photos that you have no, but at the same time, what is she doing with that on her phone? Okay, it's perfectly fine for her to have that on her phone, but you're a teacher. Don't you think there should be some responsibility to make sure your phone is password protected? Or locked so that somebody can't get into it? If you're going to have that stuff on your phone, as an adult, you have children, you have kids in a classroom, it's your responsibility to make sure it's protected.
Yeah, I actually just recently heard a story of a teacher who told me that she walked into the classroom and one of her students, and she deals with some students who maybe have some behavioral issues, had said, Miss So-and-so, there's no money in your wallet today. And she said, what? And she said, it's in, she had left her drawer unlocked, and the student went through her purse while she was like going to the bathroom or something. I will say this, though. There's got to be a line. And do we say the cell phone?
That's clearly wrong what that kid did.
Oh, absolutely.
And should be punished for that. But at the same time, don't you have a responsibility to make sure that you follow the proper procedures to make sure some kid can't get into your phone? You got to think of the worst.
And that's what the superintendent is saying. His name is David Eubanks. He said it was the teacher's fault because she left her students unattended during a 4-minute break between classes and left her phone there.
Well, I don't agree with leaving them unattended. My question is, though, is the cell phone now become like a woman's purse for everybody? Because it's got your credit card info. You can pay with it.
I think it's illegal for that kid to have gotten in there, but stupid for the teacher to not have it locked. That's my only point. And it's we're all sitting here. They're rallying behind the teacher, probably because her pictures were really hot. That helps. It does. I mean, if she was some, the students were describing her as some beast, they wouldn't be standing up for her. So clearly the photos were something to look at. And that's just human nature. I hate to say that, but it is true. But the fact is, I just think that there's got to be we have to have personal responsibility today. If you've got that stuff out and somebody finds it, it's because you allowed them to get into it. Now, if they hacked into your phone, you did everything you could to keep it private. You have every right to have whatever you want on your phone and your privacy and your private items. But if you leave it unlocked, oh, my God, they stole my TV, my couch, and everything. Well, your doors were unlocked. Yeah, but they shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have done it.
And as you said, it doesn't forgive the student.
We're still looking and saying you're stupid. What would you leave your doors unlocked for?
I still feel that way. But if someone stole $100 out of your wallet, would you say, well, you shouldn't be carrying $100?
You're not hearing what I'm saying. I think the student is wrong and should be punished. And in this case, if it maybe broke the law, should be arrested. But at the same time, you got to know that if you leave it out there, some kid this day and age is going to try to get through it. I mean, you want to have it. Don't you just feel better if you know it's protected? There's something in there. Maybe it's just a private message that you don't want somebody to read. It's protected. You know they can't get into it. Interesting story, though. Monday, March 7th. Jeff Presso in Utica is celebrating today. Jeff, happy birthday. Morgan Greenwood in Boonville, and a happy belated birthday to Tanya Brutsky in Clayville. Jeff, Morgan, and Tanya, happy birthday. The cake goes to Jeff Preso in Utica. It's a Florentine Pastry Shop birthday cake, the Florentine on Bleecker Street in Utica. Join our VIP club and submit your birthday online at WIBX950.com, or you can send us a postcard at WIBX Birthdays, 9418 River Road, Marcy, 13403. All right, hold on. We're going to give you a chance to win our free money question of the day. $100 in cash could be yours. We gave away $100 on Thursday.
We did.
Yeah, let's do it again today.
We could have given away $200, to be honest.
We were throwing it out on
JoJo,
Thursday.
what happened?
Yeah, easy one right there. That was an easy question. Okay, here we go. Your chance to win our free money question of the day coming up after the news, which is next on WIBX.